What if I told you that narcissists don't just manipulate you? They can actually pull you into their delusion until you start living in the same false reality that they do. This is called a shared psychosis, or as it's known in the DSM under the French terminology, a folie à deux. And it's one of the most disturbing effects of narcissistic abuse, and yet hardly anyone talks about it. Today, I'm going to break it down so you can understand how it happens, how to spot it, and most importantly, how to break free from it. But first, if you're new to this channel, I'd like to take a moment and welcome you and invite you to please subscribe and be sure and hit that notification bell because I put out new videos every week. Also, if you are interested in private one-on-one narcissistic abuse recovery coaching sessions with me, or if you'd like more information on my 27 video course on understanding narcissistic abuse, CPTSD, and trauma bonds and how to break them for good, or if you'd like to join our private community of survivors where we will have bi-weekly group coaching sessions and a library of all of my course material, all of the links are listed in the description below. Shared psychosis means two people begin to live in the same distorted reality. And as we all know, the narcissist creates a fantasy world where the false self they have created in their mind that is perfect and superior to all others is actually real. And a world where they are always the hero, the victim, or the martyr in every circumstance. And over time, you begin to see the world through their eyes. It can happen in romantic relationships, in families, in workplaces, and this, of course, is also what happens in severe cases of parental alienation when the alienation becomes successful in the child. The alienating parent lives in a delusion about the targeted parent and forces this delusion onto the child, eventually resulting in the child developing the same delusional and untrue beliefs about the targeted parent. They used to call this shared psychotic delusion parental alienation syndrome. In all of these cases, slowly, their paranoia becomes your paranoia. Their enemies become your enemies, and their lies start to feel like your truth. For a shared psychosis to take hold, there are several conditions that almost always show up. First, there will be an intimate relationship. The closer and more emotionally intense the bond, the easier it is for the narcissist to pull you into their delusion. That's why a folie à deux is most often seen in married couples, siblings, or parent-child relationships. The ties run so deep that reality can be replaced by loyalty. Second, there will be social isolation. When you're cut off from outside perspectives, the narcissist's voice becomes the only one you hear. Without outside input, their stories go unchallenged, and their version of events becomes your only frame of reference. Third, there will be a dominant submissive dynamic. In every case, there's an inducer and an induced. The narcissist plays the dominant role, persuasive, forceful, often with traits of a deeper psychological disorder. The partner, the child, or the sibling becomes the follower, usually more passive, suggestible, or dependent. And that imbalance makes it easy for one person's belief to completely overwrite the other's. Fourth, there must be the presence of the delusion itself. At the core is a fixed false belief, often full of paranoia, persecution fantasies, and abnormal, grandiose claims. And the narcissist will cling to this belief no matter what. And once you're in their orbit and all of these conditions are present, you will start to absorb their delusional beliefs as your own truth as well. Next comes the methods of reinforcement. The narcissist will use repetition. They will tell you the same delusional story again and again and again and again until it feels familiar, eventually leading you to accept the delusion as the real and honest truth. The narcissist will also utilize cycles of reward and punishment. So if you agree with them, they'll shower you with approval. If you resist, they'll rage, withdraw, or punish. And over time, your brain learns that survival means aligning with their version of reality. And when you put all of these elements together, these conditions create the perfect storm: closeness, isolation, power imbalance, delusion, and conditioning. And that's how you find yourself living in a world that is no longer yours, but theirs. You are now living inside of the narcissistic abuser's delusion. So how do you know if you've been pulled into a shared psychosis? There are a few different telltale signs that are dead giveaways that this is happening or has happened. Number one, you start doubting your own memories. Number two, you defend the narcissist's behavior to others even when it doesn't make sense. Number three, you adopt their enemies as your enemies without even questioning why. And number four, you feel guilty just for having thoughts that don't align with theirs. This is why survivors and adult children of parental alienation often describe it as being in a cult of one. So why do narcissists want to drag you into their delusion? There are three fundamental reasons why they want to do this. Number one, control. If you see the world the way they do, they never have to fear being challenged. Number two, validation. If you believe their lies, then the lies feel real. And number three, avoidance of shame. If you join them in rewriting history, they never have to face accountability. It's not enough for them just to simply deceive you. They need you to become a participant in their fantasy. So now let's talk about the cost and consequences of someone living in a narcissist delusional world, because the cost is enormous. First, you can lose years of your life to a reality that was never real. You will lose many relationships with people and loved ones who saw the truth and tried to warn you and protect you from the devastating harm they could clearly see was happening to your beliefs and perceptions. And you lose your sense of self, your memories, and even your sanity because you were forced to trade them in for someone else's script. This is the reality for anyone in a long-term relationship with a narcissist. You are living inside a false and manufactured reality. Not only will this strip you of your autonomy, but it will slowly dismantle your critical reasoning skills, leaving you doubting your own mind and dependent on theirs. I can't think of too many things more tragic and dangerous than living in a delusional reality created by a pathological narcissist. So now let's talk about how do you break free from a shared psychosis. Number one, you start reality testing with safe people who aren't invested in the narcissist's lies. Next, you accept the painful truth, which is they will never validate your reality or the truth. Meaning, if you leave this delusional world, the narcissist will not be joining you. They will always choose to live in the delusion over living in the true world reality. And finally, and most importantly, you reclaim the right to your own mind. The first step to healing is realizing that you aren't crazy, but you were living inside of a delusion created by a very disturbed and disordered individual, and that it doesn't matter who you are or how important you believed you were in the narcissist's life. They will never be open to living in a truthful and accurate reality. They will remain committed to the delusion above all things and any relationship. So in closing, narcissists don't just manipulate, they recruit. They want to pull you into their distorted reality so you can help hold it together for them. Nothing is more important or a bigger priority to a pathological narcissist than keeping their delusion intact at all times. And while there is no hope that they will ever leave this delusional world they created, you can. You can step out of the delusional world and you can reclaim your mind, your truth, and your freedom. If this video spoke to you, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into narcissistic abuse and recovery. And if you're ready to heal in a safe, supportive space, check out my private community linked below where you can connect with others who understand exactly what you're going through. And now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt pulled into someone else's reality? Share your story in the comments. Your voice might just be the one that helps someone else wake up.